Dead Space 3, we've really put a lot of effort in making sure that single player still retains the same familiar feel that Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2 had. But now we've added co-op to ensure that people can bring new people into Dead Space and experience it with a friend. Our co-op, we're really pushing to make something very innovative, very different, that nobody's ever seen before. Not only is it drop-in, drop-out, meaning that players will be able to start a single-player game by themselves, and then if a friend wants to join, they can drop into the game at any point and play with them for a little bit and leave at any point. But when players do drop into the game and play with you, they'll be able to discover new areas of the game to explore, like you got to see today in the demo, where Isaac and Carver joined up, and Carver found an optional area to go explore. That was seen through the eyes of Carver, and Isaac didn't see all the same things on the screen. What you saw was a dementia moment for Carver, and Isaac just saw Carver doing weird things. It's very different, so the game changes dynamically, and the story is actually additive. So the information you're getting in co-op adds to the experience. It doesn't change the overall story of Dead Space 3, but it allows you, the player, to see more about Carver and learn more about his backstory and how it fits into the game and how it fits into the Dead Space universe.
It's happening again.
One of the things that we think of when we talk about any Dead Space game is that it's a Dead Space game. We don't really think of it in terms of shooter, action, horror. What we think of are the things that people experience when playing the game. And those things are thrills, tension, action, mystery, suspense. Those are the elements that make a Dead Space game. So we don't consider it an action game or a horror game. Those are conventions that we don't really prescribe to. We're looking to create the very best Dead Space game we can make. And a Dead Space game needs to nail the atmosphere, needs to have action, needs to have suspense, needs to have thrills, needs to have terror, needs to have horror, needs to have all of those things to be a real Dead Space game. One of the new features we have in Dead Space 3 is an all-new weapon crafting system. In previous games, we did have the weapons bench that you were able to go to and modify your weapons, adding new nodes to them, increasing the damage or ammo capacity, or enhancing your rig. But in Dead Space 3, we've created a system that allows players to create their own weapons and tools. And they can do that from scratch. And what you do is, as you go throughout the game and play the game and defeat enemies and find things in the environment, those resources can be taken to a workbench and combined to create unique weapons and attachments for your weapons. It could be weapon enhancements, it could be a number of different things. It could be health packs or stasis packs. You really have a lot of different options, and in Dead Space 3, we're really letting players play it any way they like. So if a player is really the type of person that enjoys crafting and exploring and searching for everything they can find in the environment, they can do that with the weapon crafting system. Now, if they want to just get a gun and go, you can get a blueprint where you trade in the resources you picked up, and you can get a blueprint and create that weapon. So it's really quite a robust system that caters to any type of player. Dead Space 3 is the biggest game we've ever made. It's going to be longer than either of the previous Dead Space games. You'll be able to experience it in single player or in co-op, and as I described, if you play in co-op, you'll get additional information, so you've kind of got two games right there, two playthroughs that you could possibly do. In addition to that, we're going to have other replay modes like we've had in the past. We're doing something special this time with hardcore mode, and there'll be the achievements, of course, to complete, as well as other items that you'll be picking up. We have a log system that you'll be able to see how many of the various artifacts that you find as you play through the game. So it's a much bigger game this time, which is going to provide a lot of different options for players. And we really think players are going to get a lot of fun and value out of the game. This time we are going to introduce unitologists as actual enemies. You've seen them in Dead Space 2 for a moment. They appeared and tried to apprehend Isaac. But you didn't actually get to fight them. In Dead Space 3, things have kind of come to a head, and Isaac actually has a showdown against the unitologists. So throughout the experience, you're going to get to battle unitologists who are armed and dangerous.